Okay, so I'll get the today's program started. So my name is Gabriella. I'm from the Nanyang Business School Graduate Studies marketing and admissions team. So I particularly look after the marketing science program, the Masters of Science in Marketing Science program. So thank you all for taking time on this Saturday afternoon to join us. I know that it may be in the morning or in the evening for you because some of you are actually joining us from different time zones. So thank you so much for taking time to be here with us. So we are excited to see you. And in terms of today's program, we will be starting off with an information session, which will be a presentation on the overview of the Marketing Science program by Prof. Zhang, who is our academic director of the program. So later I'll be passing the time over to him to run through more details about what you can expect from the program. And presentation, we also have a panel together with our alumnus, CC, who graduated from the Marketing Science program back in who is from the class of 2023. And then we also have Isis, who is currently enrolled in our Marketing Science program. So the panel discussion with a few questions to ask them about experience as well as the career aspirations from after being enrolled into the program. Then we will also open to you to ask any questions that you more about. So you can feel free to make use of the Q&A feature on this to type in your questions. Yeah, okay. So without further ado, I will pass the time over to Prof. Zhang to give an overview about the Marketing Science program.
Okay. Thank you, Gabby. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining this information sharing session. I hope everyone can hear me and also see my slides. Okay, so I'm the academic director for the MMS Marketing Science program. And today I want to kind of give you a quick overview of what our program is about and what are the things you can expect from our program, right? So essentially the goal of our program is to actually prepare you to become a great marketer, right? In your future career. So what might happen is that I think, some of you might actually be already in the marketing profession. Some of you might be actually thinking about doing a marketing job, right? So, and our program aims to kind of provide you with a very comprehensive understanding of marketing knowledge so that hopefully, after your graduation, you are able to find a satisfactory job in the marketing field and become a successful and effective marketer. All right, so we know that, in today's world, right, so there are a lot of digital marketing and social media happening in our everyday life, and some of you might even have some firsthand experiences with social media, and you might actually understand that on social media or on e-commerce, there are a lot of data that are actually available, right? And it requires a lot of the tools and understanding of the relevant skills to be able to understand what those data actually means to us, right? So there's abundance of data in today's world, but at the same time, we also know that in order to be successful in marketing, we often also need to understand the consumer psychology, right? We need to understand consumers' heart. We need to be able to connect with consumers' heart. And we also know that a lot of times a product or brand is actually successful, not because it's the quality is good, but actually it's often because like somehow it connects with consumers at the emotional level, right? And a lot of times a nice advertisement needs to tell a very good story, right? So because of that, we also need to understand the consumer's heart, the consumer psychology. So essentially, our program tries to actually combine these two very important aspects, right? So we need to understand the science, and we also need to understand the heart. And we try to blend science with heart in the design of our MMSC program, right? And just to give you an example of why, understanding both the science and the heart is actually very important in today's marketing world, right? So for example, maybe you have done some kind of A/B testing, right, on social media. whether it's, Facebook ads or maybe other platforms, right? So you have like two different versions of your advertisements, and you try to let 50% of the visitors see one version of it, and 50% of the consumers see the other version of it, and you kind of see that one version actually leads to higher conversion rate than the other, right? So that's data. But in order to understand why there is a bigger increase of conversion rate in the other condition, you need to understand the consumer psychology, right? You need to understand the relevant theoretical knowledge to be able to interpret um, data and to understand like what's really happening, right? Why a certain, advertisement, why a certain appeal is actually more successful than the other, right? And similarly, in today's world, we are in the age of marketing technology, right? So there are a lot of robots, uh, AI, that are being used in our business life and also in our daily life as well. And this is actually a humanoid robot, right? Actually, it's in NTUs, right? So NTU actually designed those robots to be like service staff, right? And you also have those robots with like human faces. And a very important question for marketers nowadays is, how do consumers react to those robots, right? So a lot of times we know that those robots are very efficient at dealing with things, but can consumers actually connect with those robots at the emotional level, right? How do consumers respond to, let's say, maybe service failures by robots, right? So those kind of situations require a deeper understanding of the consumer psychology, the consumer insights, right? And also, I think many of you might actually be from the creative side, right? We know that we love to see very creative advertisements, right? And when it comes to designing an advertisement, a marketing campaign, there are different ways you can do it, right? There are a lot of creativity that comes into play. So, for example, right, if you want to advertise your product as a very fresh, like sandwich or burger, right? How would you actually do it, right? So one way would be actually like Subway, right? You talk about the functional information about how your food is really fresh in the advertisement using words, right? Or you could use something like on the right, this is Burger King's advertisement about how their burger actually grow moldy, right, over time, right? It's kind of like a not very nice image, but essentially it's considered like shock advertising to consumers. And we know that, some consumers might actually be more receptive to a certain type of advertising, right? So when should we use one advertisement versus the other? What are the factors that influences consumers' evaluations and maybe the effectiveness of these advertising campaigns, right? So all these things would actually require a lot of understanding of both the science and the heart of the consumers, right? And similarly, right, so you might need to, like, for example, if you're like social media influencer, right? So you might have certain data about, your past engagement rate of your posts. Why are certain posts getting more likes and comments than the others, right? So all these things are very important, and it requires an understanding of the relevant marketing knowledge to understand these issues, right? So that's why to become a great marketer, you need to understand both the science and the heart. And that's how we actually design our program to prepare you with the relevant knowledge and the skill sets. Okay, so what are the unique selling points of our MMSC Marketing Science program? Well, we offer a very holistic curriculum, right? We focus a lot on consumer insights and also marketing technology, right? So, for example, some of our cutting edge modules include like marketing in the tech era, neuroscience and neuromarketing, sonography, And recently, we also introduced a new course on sustainability, right? So these are very new courses that a lot of the other programs might not necessarily offer. The other unique aspect of our program is that we emphasize a lot of practice-oriented learning, right? So in most of our classes, we actually involve um, case studies, and many courses involve company projects, right? So even field visits. So what happens is that for each course, we might actually collaborate with a certain company, and the company would actually provide the relevant background information, and you will actually work with your teammates uh, together to try to address a real marketing problem faced by the company, right? And a lot of times, eventually, you might also be able to present your insights, your recommendations in front of the company size. And these are also opportunities where you can, train your presentation skills, and maybe eventually they will also lead to internship and even job opportunities, right? And this is how our program is structured, right? So our MSc program is a 1 year or 1.5 year program. So what does that mean? So normally the program takes 1 year. So the academic aspect of a program is a 1 year program, right? So it starts from July and ends in May. And we have 3 trimesters. But we actually provide an optional internship module at the end of the 1 year program. So what it does is that it allows you to keep your student pass, right? And if you want to, uh, we know some of you might actually know that finding a full-time job in Singapore is not very easy if you're a fresh grad, right? So normally you need some kind of internship experiences. So normally the half a year internship program would actually allow you to get some kind of internship experience in whether it's in Singapore or in ASEAN countries or in your home countries. It allows you to get more internship experiences, which hopefully can allow you to find a better and more satisfactory full-time job, right? But this internship module is actually optional, right? So if you feel that you're already ready to graduate, then you don't really need to take this optional internship module, right? So it's really up to our students to decide what you want to do with this optional module. In terms of the courses, right, each trimester, as I mentioned, we have 3 trimesters, right? So each trimester we have uh, normally 4 AU courses, right? Full courses, and sometimes we also have like half courses. Half courses meaning that basically instead of 13 weeks class, you get about 6 weeks class, right? So for example, we have B2B marketing, marketing sustainability as 2 half courses, and both of them will actually be taught in trimester 2. And as I mentioned, we also have an optional internship module at the end. These are just selected faculty in the program, right? So I'm one of the faculties who is teaching in the program, but I would also like to emphasize that we have a lot of award-winning teachers who are actually teaching this program, and we have not only faculty members from NBS, but we also have uh, practitioners who are the experts in the field. For example, Jonathan, who is the expert on digital marketing, and we actually invited him to teach the digital marketing module in our program, right? As I mentioned, our teaching approach is very practice-oriented, right? So we focus a lot on experiential learning. We use a lot of case studies. We have company projects for the group projects, right? So in the past, we have worked with like Grab, Shiseido, Cartier, all these different companies. And a lot of our students actually get the opportunity to even present in front of the CEOs of these companies, right? So if they are the top teams in the company projects. We also invited a lot of guest speakers, right, from various industries to give some guest lectures in our classes, right? And all these kind of opportunities allow our students to gain more industry exposure and potentially establish some kind of networking opportunities, right? Next, I would like to talk a little bit about NTU and NBS, right? So about NTU, I hope all of you kind of know about us, right? We are actually established in 1991. We have a very strong emphasis on, we are very strong in engineering as well as business, right? Uh, Engineering and business are our core disciplines. We are very research intensive, global university. We are always highly ranked in the world according to various rankings, right? So, for example, in the QS ranking this year, we are ranked at 15th in the world, and we are always ranked the top university in terms of the best young universities in the world, right? So these are just some stats showing that we are quite highly ranked, meaning that we are also very well recognized by companies, by the industry globally, right? And I understand this is also very important for you guys. And about MBS, this is actually our new business school building. It's a very iconic wooden architecture which is very eco-friendly and sustainable, right? But it's also very beautiful, right? So I'm sure that once you come to MBS, you will be very happy to spend a year time in this beautiful wooden building, which is called Gaia. Okay. And first of all, we are in Singapore, which is a cosmopolitan global melting point uh, where the heart of Asia and also the hub for a lot of the global business, global companies, right? So there are a lot of the companies actually have headquarters in Singapore. And the other unique aspect about Singapore is that we have both the influence of Asian and Western culture, right? So this culture of Singapore is very dynamic, multiracial, and multicultural. And the other thing I would like to say is that, as you come to NTU, you join our program, you will also be working with a lot of the students who come from very different culture backgrounds, right? And that allows you to actually interact with people from different backgrounds and better, build up your skills to do business in a global context, right? Because you need to understand, what consumers in the other culture actually thinking about if you want to go do global business, right? So in terms of MBS, we're the leading business school in Asia. We are very renowned for research-oriented, interdisciplinary, as well industry-relevant education. So we're very well recognized by companies globally. We have more than 250 instructors, including both full-time and part-time lectures. We're a very big university, right? So we have more than 4,000 undergraduate students, more than 1,000 postgraduate participants, and more than 4,000 executive education participants, right? So very big and very kind of research intensive and well-recognized business school. And our strategic positioning is that we are a premium business school within a leading technological university, which is NTU, right? And NBS is the nexus of world-class innovation, research, and business education, right? So at NBS, we emphasize a lot on technology, we emphasize a lot on sustainability, as well as innovation, right? And what's unique about our master program is that because we're situated in this leading technological university, we can leverage on our strengths on science, technology, and engineering, and etc. Right? And we also have this flexibility that is provided to you by giving you this optional internship module at the end of the program, right? So you can either choose to do it or choose to opt out of it and go directly to find a full-time job. And the other thing that we are also proud about is that we have very good industry connections, right? You are able to work on real world, company projects in the program. And we also have a dedicated career support by the NBS Graduates Office. Okay, and this is just a showcase of our class profile in this year's MMS cohort, right? So we have 79 participants in the program, and you can see that our students come from a diversified uh, countries and regions, right, from all over the world. Most of our students come from business undergraduate major, but actually we also have students coming from humanities and social science, communications, journalism, and even some other undergraduate majors, right? And most of our students, uh, I think most of our students either have like some internship experience or some full-time experience, but the full-time experience is actually not required for the admission of this MMS program. Okay, and in terms of career services, we have career coaching, we have workshops, seminars, and talks to better prepare our students with the right skills to reach their career goals. We also have network opportunities and with both the companies, right? So every year we have career fairs, career days, where we invite all the employees to come to the campus, but we also have networking opportunities with previous alumni as well as our company connections during the classes or the company projects, right? And you can also download our employment highlights using the QR code here, right? If you are curious about where our students go to, you can use the QR code to download a report on our employment highlights. And these are just some quotes from our former alumni, right? So this is Devish from last year's class, right? So he appreciated all the different branding and technological courses, and he felt like he benefited from those courses on marketing technology modules, right? And this is from Carrie, who is also our former student from last year's batch. She's from Peru, right? So she also appreciated, the case studies, the practice-oriented modules that our program actually provides, right? So just to summarize, right, who should actually apply to our program, right? First of all, you should have a passion for marketing, right? And you're hoping to either develop or advance your career in marketing. The other thing that is very important is that you want to become better, right? You want to develop yourself as a well-rounded marketer. And the last thing is that you're also willing to embrace new challenges, right? Because for many of you, it will mean that you are moving to a new country, learn about a new culture. You will actually, work with people from different cultural backgrounds, and you're willing to actually solve real-world marketing problems, right? If you feel that you are one of these people, then you should definitely, submit your applications, right? And I will pass on to Gabby to talk about the admission requirements of our MMSC program. But I definitely encourage all of you to submit your applications, and we look forward to receiving your applications.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Being very informative. So I hope you got to know a little bit more. And if you have, feel free to post them on the Q&A tab. It's located at the bottom of your Zoom window. You will see a row of icons, one of which is actually a Q&A. If it doesn't show immediately, you can click on the icon that shows three dots and says more to locate the Q&A tab. Yes, it will be easier for me to follow up on the questions later on if you post it there instead of on the chat, because the chat can it can be quite over. I may not be able to answer to it if you don't post it on the Q&A tab instead. Yeah, so moving on to the admissions requirements for the Masters of Science in Marketing Science program. So before I proceed on to talk about the requirements, I would like to say that the applications for this program is currently already open. So free to start your application. If you are not so certain yet whether or not to apply, do also just click on the link to apply to start an account with us, so that we can see what are the process required for the applications part. Yeah. So for the admission requirements, quite very straightforward for our MMS program. We just need a bachelor's degree from any discipline. Any university from any countries are all welcome. No working experience is required. Then it's actually optional for you to gain a GMAT or GRE, to take the GMAT or GRE test. So optional as in if you have already taken the test, because you are also keen to submit an application to another program that requires it, you score that you have. But if you are only keen to apply to our MMS program, there is no need for you to go and take the test just for application to this program. And then if your degree was not fully taught in English, you would need to take either the TOEFL or IELTS test and have the score of above 100 and overall score of over 6.5 for IELTS. Okay, moving on. This is an overview of the admissions requirements as well as our tuition fee. So the requirements I just went through earlier. So this program is only offered on a full-time basis, and it takes 1 year to complete. In fact, you actually start classes. There are some activities that starts in July, and then you will be able to complete the program in end May the following year. So at our application deadlines, we have 3 rounds of deadlines. 30th November is the first one, and then followed by 31st January, and then the final deadline is on 31st of March 2025 for the July 2025 intake. So although there are 3 rounds of deadline, all of no matter which deadline you submitted your application in, you will still be taking part in you'll still be considered for the July 2025 intake. But the different rounds of deadline is actually mainly for scholarships. So if you are keen to apply for scholarship, you would have to apply before the round 1 deadline. And also our application, previous, can return to the earlier slide. Also our admissions review is on a rolling basis. So the earlier you submit your application, actually you actually stand higher chances of being admitted, because we still have a lot of vacancies in the program and there are not so many applications that are already received. So you do have a better chance of being selected. And then fees wise, the total tuition cost fee for this program is 58,000 Sing dollars. That's exclusive of a 9% GST. So inclusive of GST is about $63,200. Yeah. Okay, so these are the supporting documents that you will need to submit your application. So the application is an entirely online process. So earlier I mentioned you can just create an account on our application portal, and you will be able to see all these different sections that require you your inputs. So firstly will be your particulars, and then supporting documents will be from this list that you are seeing right now. One of the most important document will be your CV or your resume, which details all your previous working experiences, internship experiences, your academic background, as well as any CCAs or any other non-academic achievements. Make sure to include all those details in your CV and your resume. And then secondly will be your degree scroll and your transcripts. And then if you have a GMAT or GRE test taken, do include the score reports. And then if your undergrad degree was not fully taught in English, you will need to submit the IELTS or TOEFL score report as well. And then we will need a copy of your passport, as well as a passport size photo of yourself. And then for the recommenders wise, you do not need to get your recommenders to write a recommendation letter for you. Instead, on our application portal, you just have to indicate their names and their contact details, and the application portal will trigger an email to them to invite them to submit a recommendation report for you. So within the recommendation, also an online form that they fill. So multiple choice questions to indicate like things like how they rate you in certain areas and maybe your competencies in certain areas. Yeah, so very straightforward. Okay, so in terms of the review of the application, we take it on a very holistic approach. So these are the things that we look into. So firstly will be your academic profile. So that will be shown through your degree scroll, and then we also look at your leadership qualities. So if you have any uh, internship experiences or full-time working experiences, do indicate if you have taken on any leadership positions or roles and any achievements from the contributions that you have made to the company. Then in your internships and your work experience. And we also look into whether you have the ability to contribute to the class. Because for our postgraduate program, we're actually looking for students who are able to contribute in class. It's not a very top-down approach where all the learnings are actually from the professors and the lecturers. Instead, there's a lot of in-class discussions where you actually learn from your peers as well. And then we also look at any non-academic achievements that you may have. Maybe you participated in some competition and then you won the award. Do indicate that in your resume. So coming to scholarships and grants, so these are the various sort of financial support that is available to you if you were to apply to the program. So firstly is the ASEAN Development Scholarship. So we have quantum for this scholarship, 40% and 100% of the tuition fee. And this is open to all ASEAN nationalities except for Singaporean. And then we have the diversity scholarship. This is our newly rolled out scholarship. So it's something that we newly implement because we want to encourage diversity and different unique perspectives within our student community. So this will also cover about 40% of your tuition fee, and applicants are welcome to actually interpret diversity in their own way and showcase how their background actually puts them in a position to be able to contribute towards diversity and contribute towards vibrancy in the end. And then we have the merit scholarship. Merit scholarship is also open to any applicant to the program, and this will cover 30% of the tuition fee. The NTU alumni grant. So as long as you have completed a degree with NTU previously, you will be entitled to a 10% of the tuition fee. Then for Singaporeans and Singapore PR, you will enjoy a $5,000. So this is a little overview about the application process. So earlier I mentioned the applications has already opened. So and since the beginning of September, so about. And then, so firstly, the first step is when you submit your application online, the admissions team will actually review it as soon as possible. And then if you are shortlisted for an admission interview, we will invite you to join us in the admissions interview. It's an online Zoom interview conducted by an interview. You can expect to receive the outcome of your application in about 3 to 4 weeks' time. And then thereafter, if you are successful, you will receive an offer from us, and then you can decide whether or not to accept the admissions offer. Okay, so we do have WhatsApp and WeChat that you can join to continue to stay connected with us. If you have any further questions after today's session, you can feel free to post it on this group chat. Then our admissions team are all there. We will answer your queries as soon as possible. Yeah, so I'll leave some time for you to scan the QR codes. Okay. Oh, sorry, I received a note that the Q&A is not open. Let me just check my settings. Okay. Okay. So sorry about that. I've enabled. It should be enabled now. Okay, no worries. Since we are already about halfway through the session, just if you're not able to post your question on the Q&A feature or the Q&A tab, just feel free to type them on the chat. I will look into them later. Okay, so I do have one more slide that is on our social media. So these are also platforms that you can stay connected with us. So we will, every now and then, we will post stories from our alumni as well as current participants about their program experiences. So do feel free to scan the QR code and follow us on these platforms. And we have any updates about the programs, we may also post things on there, as well as events such as what today's session. Like if we have more of similar sessions or more alumni and student sharing sessions, we will also post on these platforms. Okay, I see that we already have some questions regarding the admissions process or the program. So I will take some time to answer them before we move on to the next segment of today's program, which is the alumni and student sharing. So the first question from Danjuma Ocholi is about digital content in the program. So I think just now Prof. Zhang went through the course list of the program. There is a digital marketing module within the program. Then in terms of internship, the school, we will not be, there will be career support available through the Graduate Studies Careers Development Office, or in short, GSCDO. So they are a dedicated bunch of career advisors who are dedicated to assist our postgraduate students in looking for internships as well as full-time positions. But they will not be matching jobs. Instead, they have contacts with employers. So whenever there are opportunities, they will share it with the students. So you are free to apply to the internships. And then if your this is a question from Vimala. If our application got selected, what's the time period to pay fees for acceptance? So if your application got selected, you will first be invited to the admissions interview. And then after the admissions interview, you receive the final outcome of your application in about 3 to 4 weeks' time. And then you will be given about 2 to 3 weeks' time to pay the acceptance fee. Okay. So details of scholarship I've already gone through earlier. If you have you would like to find out more, you can also visit our website. The details are all stated over there. Then GRE is optional for this program. Then any degree from any discipline is welcome. So if you are from a statistics background, you are free to apply. And then okay, although our class profile age group is quite young, we do not have an age limit for our applicants. So you feel free to apply if you feel that the program will be beneficial. But in terms of the program design, it's actually more suitable for those who do not have more than 5 years of working experience in the marketing area. So if you're already working in a marketing role for more than 5 years, we would suggest you to also consider the MBA program, which might be more suitable in terms of the stage of your career. Okay. So Danjuma from Nigeria, you will not be eligible to apply for the ASEAN Development Scholarship because Nigeria is not part of the ASEAN countries, but you are free to apply for the Diversity Scholarship as well as the Merit Scholarship. Okay, Vimala's question about if you apply during round 1 and got rejected, whether you can apply again in the next round. So as you only have to, within one admission cycle, you only need to submit your application once. So our applications is on a rolling basis. So if you submit within round 1, but you didn't get shortlisted for the admissions interview, actually your application remains in our consideration pool all the way until the final deadline. Yeah, so even if you may not be selected immediately, your application is not immediately thrown out. Instead, it stays in our consideration pool. So if we do later on, we do find that maybe you might be suitable to be part of the program, we will still invite you for the admissions interview. So you don't have to resubmit your application after round 1. Okay, next question from Kimberly is on how large are each of the classes. So in the current cohort, we have close to 80 students, and they are split into 2 groups when taking classes. So your class will be about 40 in the class. Okay, regarding the code for the application fee waiver, we will send it to all the attendees of today's session within 1 week. So that will be sent to you via email. So do we need a personal statement? So just now I mentioned earlier about the supporting documents required for your application. You just require a CV or a resume, and then within the application, you are also required to answer 2 essay questions that is related to the study of the program. So do log on. Earlier I mentioned, do create an account, log on to the application portal to just check out what the essay questions are, so that you can prepare before you submit your application. So you don't have to complete the online application in one sitting. You can always save whatever you have completed and then come back to it later on. All the details that you keyed in will be saved inside. Okay, regarding the question from Yongbin, this program is only offered on a full-time basis. We do not have any part-time. So yes, for Caroline's question regarding whether you can apply for both the MSc program as well as the MBA program, yes, we actually use the same application portal. So you create one account in the application portal, and then you can apply for the MSc program and also another application for the MBA program. Okay, for Daniel's question about Malaysian students, so for to apply for the ASEAN scholarship, the application is actually within the application for the program itself. So within when you start the application for the program, there will be quite a number of different sections. So one of the sections is actually a scholarship section. So over there, just make sure that you indicate that you are keen to apply for a scholarship for the program, and then there will be two additional essay questions for you to answer relating to how you can contribute as a scholarship recipient. For those from India, the scholarships available to you will be the diversity scholarship and the merit scholarship. Okay, for Komal, who currently have a full-time job that is flexible and hybrid, can we schedule for the program around your work? I think this might be quite difficult because all the courses for this program are compulsory. So usually the timetable actually classes takes place on weekdays. Between morning and the afternoon, and then occasionally there may be some classes that takes place on Saturdays as well, so it might be quite difficult for you to hold a full-time job while taking the program. Yeah, so for this program, it's actually a fully coursework program, and currently there are no exams. The assessment is based on your project work, in both individual as well as group work, and then in-class participation. Okay, so I think I've answered the questions related to the program and the admissions requirements. So now I will introduce our panel today, which comprise of an alumnus from the class of 2023. Her name is Cici Liu. She's currently an integrated marketing planner at Scientex Consulting. And then we also have our current participant of the program. She's from Thailand, and her name is Isis. So I will maybe can I get CC and Isis to give a quick introduction about yourself, maybe starting with CC first?
Hello, hi, I'm Cici. I'm Scientech Consulting's integrated marketing partner. So what I do is a solo role lah. Yeah, so it's from a recruitment agency. So that's sort of about what I do. Yeah.
Thank you, CC.
Hi. So, my name is really long, but just feel free to call me Isis. Before I joined the program, I was working as a UX UI designer and then in the marketing department. And yeah, that's about it. I'm from Thailand and I really hope to meet you guys next year.
Okay, so today's panel session is we actually have a focus on the career pathways that our MSc students get to go into during and after the program. So I will start off with some questions to get to know our alumnus as well as our current participant a little bit more, and then I'll also ask questions related to their current career as well as their career aspirations. During this time, do feel free to add on any questions that you would like to direct to them. I think because after all, pursuing a postgraduate program is quite a big investment, and I'm sure everyone is looking for the ROI of it. So I think this is really an appropriate time for you to ask questions related to this. And we really thank CC and Isis for taking time off their busy schedules, because CC actually has a full-time job, and then she's spending her precious Saturday afternoon with us here. And Isis as well, she has to juggle. In fact, she actually has a class right now, but she has requested to be excused to be here with us today. So really thankful for that. So I hope that we can make use of their time very preciously and very appreciatively. Yep. Okay, so I think I will start off with asking the both of them why you chose the marketing science program as your postgraduate further studies.
I think I can start first. Okay, so I'm from Singapore, so I actually did another postgrad studies with SUSS previously. So that was a part-time course. So it was in digital marketing. Yeah. However, I felt that the curriculum here at MMS was more suitable for me. So I decided to take a break from work and then come into MMS to do a full-time studies with MMS. Yeah. So I think what is really appealing to me about what MMS is that it's marketing science, and it's a really, really interesting title, and it really shows you how the program markets itself. Yeah, so like Prof. Zhang just now said, it's tying the heart with the brain, and marketing is really about telling stories and connecting products with connecting products and services with things that are maybe less easily digestible to the layman, such as like technological stuff, such as science, such as a lot of very complicated services that we have now today. And the world is so rapidly changing. So I think that's why MMS was such an appealing course to me. Yeah.
Thank you so much, CC.
And for me, when I was in my undergraduated, I was doing a lot of experiences. For example, like I joined a lot of startup competition and do some internship program. Like I mentioned, I was working as UX UI designer, and then I work in a marketing department. While I was working in like marketing department, I really enjoyed marketing, and I really wanted to learn more about like marketing strategy and then data driven like decision makings sorts of thing. And then so I started to search for like, okay, I want to learn marketing. So I searched for where I want to study and I found NTU. And the NTU program focused on like technology and innovation in business, which really like interested to me and it caught my attention right away. So that's why I started to like join the MMS program.
Okay, yeah, it seems like both of you program's curriculum in terms of like how holistic it is and how they're also very innovative and technology focused. Yeah, thank you so much. So I think I would also like to ask Isis, like as because you're coming from Thailand, actually what motivated you to actually move out of your home country to Singapore to study, and also do you actually consider other countries for your postgraduate studies?
Actually, Singapore is my first choice because I really love Asian food, and I cannot live without like Asian food. And I really love Singapore in terms of like, Singapore is a melting pot. It have a lot of like nationalities, like many people from around the world. This is my first like thought about Singapore. And then Singapore is a leader in business in Asia too. And also not to mention that NTU has a great global reputation. So that's why I choose like to move from Thai to study in Singapore.
How has it been for you at adjusting to living in Singapore?
So far everything is nice. The only thing I cannot adjust is how sweet the drink is in Singapore.
Oh, you must ask for Siu Dai.
Sweet I mean less sweet, right?
Less sweet, yes. Yeah. For
Okay.
those overseas participants who are joining us, so Singapore we have a kind of like lingo for ordering beverages in Singapore. So like if you want to like have black coffee, we call it kopi o, and then if you want to have tea with evaporated milk, it will be teh C, and then you can add on like siu dai, meaning less sweet. You don't want it to be so sweet because usually I think the standard is quite sweet, like Isis has mentioned.
Yeah, really, but everything so far is really good in Singapore.
Okay, so maybe I direct it. Actually, CC is actually Singaporean, and actually she also completed her undergrad degree in Singapore. So it's quite a contrast from Isis. So CC, did you also like consider going overseas to study, and like what are the factors that helped you make the decision to remain in Singapore for your postgraduate studies and actually coming back to your alma mater for your postgrad studies?
Yes. Okay, so I'm actually an alumni. So yes, I benefited from the grants. Yeah. So I think one of the reasons why I chose to come back to NTU is also because I did my undergraduate studies here, and I already know what the professors are like and what the curriculums are like and what support the school can offer you in terms of career coaching, etc. So when I chose to come back to NTU and NBS, yeah, it was quite the easy decision other than with reading all of the whole holistic curriculum and all of that. Yeah. So another reason that I chose to come back to NTU is that as an undergraduate, as an undergraduate at NTU, I really saw how NBS has like really good reputation. So like when people buy merch, yeah, so like when people buy merch, right, they go after this thing that they really want. So let's say you are not from Google, but you want to buy a Google t-shirt. That was how MBS t-shirts are like. You actually get your MBS classmates to get the MBS t-shirt. So I think that's in a way how you can see marketing in MBS works, and it works really well. Yeah, everybody wants to be in MBS. Yeah, or masquerade that they're high, even when they are not. Yeah, so no shame about that. It's really a really great school to be in. Yeah. And I think that joining it or entering the program has really shown me what a great school NBS really is. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Cici. You are really such a loyal alumnus. And I think like NTU really check all the boxes for you. Okay, so okay, I'm sure like for both of you, during your research for your postgraduate studies, you would like also look into programs offered at other schools. So what did you find are the most unique offerings that MMS or NTU or NBS was able to offer? Isis, will you be able to
Okay, sure.
share?
So this is the first thing that I look into before I apply to NTU. Like I look at NTU like curriculum, and like I mentioned before, I was a UX UI designer, so I worked in like a tech startup before, and I really enjoy like technology as well as I enjoy marketing. So I really want to study in somewhere that can combine technology and marketing together. And this is what NTU is really focused on, like we focus on technology, innovation, and business all together. And then like some cutting edge technology and everything. This is why I think like it's really unique from other university. Like other university tend to focus on like marketing, like most of the time, more than like marketing mixing with other things. Oh, and there's another course that I think is really interesting in NTU. So apart from technology, NTU also offer you to study like psychology for marketing, which I think is really important for today's world.
Thank you, Isis. How about CC?
Yeah, I think I want to echo what Isa said. So my background is also was from literature, and I also have a background in designing. Yeah, so I think what is really interesting about NTU's or MMS courses is that you really see a lot of different a diverse variant of sciences. So other than psychology, like what Isis has mentioned, there's also neuroscience, and then there's also finance. So you really see all of the different disciplines coming together and working together with marketing. Yeah. So I think at this point I want to talk about some of the ways that the sciences courses have helped me in my career. Yeah. So it might not be very obvious, and it really depends on what career that you go into. So for my work, I also do some sort of designing. So I see how neuroscience plays into design and how we see certain things first and the hierarchy, etc. And then marketing research and ethnography and consumer side, which Prof. Zhang taught us, also showed me how I can appeal to my colleagues doing employee engagement and engaging with our candidates and job seekers, like the hierarchy of needs, and then how we do research and all that. It really helps a lot. And then finance wise, it also helps you to understand whether certain things, certain efforts that you're putting out gives you the right amount of ROI that you want to do. Yeah. So I think that side of what marketing science gives us is really beneficial to what we do in our work, if we are able to identify what in our courses can help us to carry out our day-to-day work. Yeah.
Thank you so much, CC. I think maybe the audience is also curious to know, like as a integrating marketing planner, how does your day-to-day typical day look like in this
Okay.
role?
Okay, my role is a bit unique. So I work in a recruitment firm, yeah, as a marketing person, and I'm the first marketing person that they have hired in like many years. Yeah, so I sort of do everything. So I'm called the integrated marketing partner, but integrated marketing is not what we learned in MMS, which we also have a course in it, integrated marketing. Yeah, but it's more of like I do both offline and online things, but I also do a lot of employee engagement and a lot of research for our company. So my day-to-day really depends on what projects that I'm doing at the time. So for example, I can be creating a offline premium for like our clients or for our job seekers, such as tote bags or tissue papers. So if you guys don't know, in Singapore we put tissue papers on the tables and then we use it to chope seats. Yeah, so we use it to say that, oh, this seat is taken. Yeah, and then people don't sit there. Yeah, so that's maybe unique to Singapore. So I also designed that for our company. That's offline. And then online, I also run our social media campaigns. We don't buy ads, so it's all organic. So I work on SEO, work on blog posts, etc. And then recently I'm also doing some research candidate satisfaction surveys that's rolling out to our job seekers. Yeah. So other than that, I'm also writing a report for our award submission. So we are trying to go for some business awards, and then I have to write that as well. So my role is a bit more special in the way that I'm not as focused as some of my like former classmates might have been. But I really get to do a bit of everything, which I really find that that was why I chose this company, because they told me that I can really hands-on try a lot of things. So I think that really depends on what you are interested in. I was
Thank you,
that's it. Yeah.
thank you so much. Sorry, did I cut off?
No, did I answer your question?
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for sharing about your day. So I was just curious to know, like, how does that compare to your days as a MMS student? Like, are there any similarities? Or what are the biggest differences?
I don't think. Okay, I
Do you
think.
miss your days as an MMS student?
Yeah, okay, maybe I just talk about my day as an MMS student. I'm not sure is it different now because it's been 1, 2 years. Yeah, so classes were mostly from Mondays to Wednesdays, and then Thursdays and Fridays, unless we have compact classes, we don't really have class. Yeah, so we really had a lot of free time to go and do what we wanted to do. And then in fact, if you want me to summarize our day in the life of an MMS student or the program experience in one word, one of the words would be productive. Yeah, so because all the classes are packed together, right? So the afternoons can be where we do a lot of project works and we talk to our course mates, etc. Yeah, or we can go attend events that the program has organized for us, such as like company visits or networking events, etc. And then Thursdays and Fridays, it's really up to you how you want to manage your time. I know a lot of my course mates took up internships. Yeah, for me, I was doing freelance. I was doing freelance designing. So yeah, my time was really all over the place. Yeah, so I think one of the key takeaways that I had from studying at MMS that might not be so marketing based would be time management. Yeah, it's really how you want to make full use of your time while you're taking a so-called career break doing your master's here. Yeah. Mm.
I
So I
think
guess comparison. Yeah.
I think time management is a very important skill. Like, I think it's important for, like, regardless of which postgraduate program you are going into, and it's also very important in your career after your studies. Yeah. Thank you, thank you. So maybe I get Isis to share about how a typical day is like for you as an MMS student.
Okay, sure. So let me start with the day that I will have class, because Cici already mentioned we have some day that we have class. Like in my trimester this time we have 4 days of class and 3 days free time. So on the day that I have class, it's really a typical day. So we are going to class, and after that we are working on a group project, and then we eat out. But sometimes, which I say most of the time, like in Gaia, in our building, they have many events and activities that you can join. Sometimes like many company will come and have some like talks. So you can go talk to the company that you are interested, which I think is really nice for us. And on the day that we don't have like class, our class right now, we are really close knit. So we are trying to do something together and get to know each other in the cohort more. So we have some checklists that what we're gonna do before we graduate. For example, we're gonna try every food in NTU canteen before we graduate, or we're gonna go like hiking at Bukit Timah together as a class, which I think is really good. Yeah. But so far I only studied for like 2.5 months, and we did many things already. Yeah, that's my typical day in MMS student.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing. Can you also, in terms of like your postmasters, of your aspirations?
So at first, like I mentioned, I really love technology and marketing. So I thought that I'm gonna be interested and want to work in somewhere that combine both technology and marketing together. But after I study here for like 2 months, I really think that there are many more opportunities and many more interested things in like many places. So for now, I'm still exploring my option, but what I feel now is the program is really preparing me for many different industry. So let's say if I want to go work in like tech company, they are like preparing me too. If I want to work in B2B, they already prepare me for that. So I'm really excited what I want to choose when I'm gonna graduate too.
Okay. And is there anything in the program that you are looking forward to the most?
So for now, before I join the program, the really like first thing that I'm really looking forward to is like, as you mentioned, and as Prof mentioned, our class is really diverse. We have many people from like all around the world. So first thing I really look forward is like I want to hear the other people's perspective. That's the first thing I really look forward to. And then another thing is I really look forward to learn about psychology and neuroscience in marketing, which I will get to learn in the next trimester. That's the most thing that I really looking forward to. Oh, and another thing that I'm looking forward to is like I want to try and have some like hand-on experience and real-world project, which right now we already have it. We have a project that we work with some company from Singapore, and we got a chance to visit their factory too, which I think I'm looking forward for more project like that.
Okay. So you feel that the program has like open you up like to more the wider perspective in terms of marketing. Okay. Is there any advice you would give to someone who's considering doing a master's?
For me, you have to be clear about your goal and pick a program that really match your passion. And for me, my master is really challenging, but it's also really rewarding for me. It's like I feel like it's helped me to grow like both personally and professionally. So just make sure that you are applying for this because it's something that you really want to learn about it and you're excited about it, and try to put your 100% toward your goal. And that's all I can advise you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Isis. Okay, so I will direct the attention back to Sissy a little bit because I think after the program, I'm sure students who are enrolled in the marketing science program would like to know more about career in marketing. Although CC is not really in a company that is specializing in marketing, but her day-to-day role is still very relevant to marketing. So, CC, could you share what are some of the qualities that you find are the most important for a marketing role, like what you are doing right now?
Yeah, I think storytelling is a very important aspect to being a good marketeer. So like I mentioned, I do a lot of offline and online things, and I also do some things such as more of like the corp com sites like employee engagement and the writing into awards, etc. Yeah, so I think being able to tell a story and find the intersections between something that is not really that human and then bringing it together with your brand is very important. So for example, my company also makes use of technology such as AI to select candidates and then bring up candidates applications to our recruiters' attention. So being able to tell that story and then market it to an audience such as business to business to our clients, saying that this is a good service that we can provide to you is a very important thing. And then how are you going to be able to tell that story is something that a lot of companies look out for. And then another thing that maybe relates to storytelling is finding solutions and then being able to tell it. So so I've also attended a couple of sharing sessions and networking sessions with our juniors. So I think one advice that I will give to all of the marketing students who are looking for a job or looking for an internship is to be able to provide solutions. So what I would advise everybody to do when you're interviewing for a company is to look out for their websites, their social media and all of that, and then go and see what are the things that they can improve and what solutions that you can provide for them, and then tell it in a very compelling way. And I think that is something that a lot of interviewers are looking out for. And I think what MMS prepares you is that they give you a lot of projects that you can do during your curriculum, and then you sort of make use of this time, and that goes back to productivity. It gives you sufficient time to go and build up this project and then get feedback from industry professionals like your professors and your classmates and all that, and then build up a portfolio to showcase what you can do to a company that is looking for this position. And then another thing that I think is very great advice that I have heard from one of my classmates. Her name is Sama. Yeah, so she's currently working at a co-working space company. So her team actually did a presentation on co-working spaces during their course, and then she said that that is a good tactic to use. So let's say you're planning to work in a certain company. Let's say you're planning to work for maybe a dating app. or you want to go into matchmaking like services, etc. Yeah, do your project on matchmaking. If you want to do something like FMCG, maybe you want to sell I don't know, consumer goods. Yeah, look out for a project and do your center your topic around that project so that you already done all your research you need to do before you go for the interview. Yeah, so I think that's some of the ways that like looking for solutions and storytelling are two very important things that a marketer must have. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. I think those are really great career tips. Yeah, and I think you also mentioned that like how the MMS prepares you for it because it's like kind of like a practice ground that if you already know like what kind of industry you are keen on, you can actually work on projects related to what you're keen to do in your career, postmaster's career, like within your MMS program. Yeah, which actually goes back to our program focus that Prof. Zhang mentioned, which is very practice oriented. Yeah, so thank you so much, Isis and CC. So I would like to open the time to our audience. If you have any questions to direct to our student, to our alumni, please feel free to share. You can also just unmute yourself and just verbalize your question if you have any. Let me just check the chat. Bimala has a question about the GRE score. If you apply for the program and then receive your GRE score later, yes, you can definitely update whatever you have submitted in your application later on. You can your access to the application portal is still available after you submit the application, so you can any updates to the details, feel free to log back in to update them. And then because I mentioned earlier that our application review is on a rolling basis, so if you have already submitted your application and you want to update it, you can drop me an email so that just to let me know so that I don't miss the update. Yeah, you can drop an email to our MMS email address. I will just drop it in the chat over here. You can update the additional details on the application portal and then just drop an email to mention that you have updated something over there. Then we will check. Yeah. Any other questions from anyone in the audience? You can also feel free to direct any question to Prof. Zhang here to answer questions that you may have about the program. Okay, if there are no further questions, we can end the session slightly earlier. So today's recording, we will also send it to you via email within about 1 week's time. And then I think notice that we mentioned that there will be a waiver code for the application fee if you join us same email.
Oh, by the way, I just saw a question by Vimala. So do you think having statistic background help us? Yes, I do. So as we mentioned that even though the majority of the students coming from a business major, we do have courses that like you would have an edge if you have some statistics background. And I do think that if you study statistics, you should also apply as long as you have a passion for marketing, right? So I think it would help you in certain courses. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prof. Zhang. Okay. If we have no more further questions, we will end. Everyone for joining us. Thank you, Prof. Zhang, Isis, and CC for taking your precious time to join us today. Your sharing has been really insightful, and we gained a lot of tips about applying to the program and how to even like excel beyond the program in terms of your career. Thank you so much. Hope everyone have a nice rest of the day and look
Thank you
forward
for
to your
joining
application.
session. Thank you.
Thank you.
We look
Bye-bye.
forward to receiving your applications.
Yes.